Hello, everyone.
Hello, welcome to
Welcome to
DevKami 194.
194. 94
Uh,
is definitely not a prime because it's an
yep,
even number.
definitely correct because it's a factor of 2 because we are damn
Yeah, I
nerds.
am Chi Leong.
And I'm Ming, and Tristan will join us later.
Yeah, what are
Much
we going to
later.
talk about today?
We're going to cover the news. Unfortunately, so good news, bad news. Good news is we're going to talk about the
Let's
news.
talk about good
bad,
news. There's enough bad news in the world.
Yeah, actually, there's a lot of bad news. But first, I need to open up the tab. Here you are. Oh no! Now you see my bad porn. Okay, so first thing first is
Your prawn stack.
yeah. Okay, I noticed that my keyboard loses a key, which is actually annoying. So first event, this week actually we have Elixir event. I didn't go, so then we have nothing until next week actually.
Yep.
So we have nothing. But this weekend is a long one because we have our Prophet Muhammad's birthday or something. So
Yep.
so he it's a Sunday, so which is interesting because
For most of us, we're gonna get
Monday.
Monday replacement holiday.
Correct. So yeah lah. So not much happening actually. So and this week I went to bar camp, which is another story. Interesting environment.
Is that what you're gonna cover?
Nah, I did not cover. Unfortunately, there's not a lot happening though, which is a bit silly. So I mean, I get to teach a kid about. So do you know that sometimes people people go for their degree, like we're going to do a data science degree, then realize that you're not going to teach the right thing and then not actually prepare them for the job. So because students actually do
Yeah, it's the same conversation we had over the years.
Yes.
It's not really academics. It's vocational training. It's
correct.
Most of the
So
time.
in this case, because she's a data science major, but her internship is in front end development, so she's wondering that is it a good thing or bad thing? So in short,
okay, I'll let you finish first before sharing my idea.
Yeah, so in short, the solution for that, we just give them a very prescriptive answer, and also give her a start, which is, at that time, some of our peers are there. So among one of them is a woman in tech rep, and not our circle, but she's.
Turns out Nicholas looked like a student.
Yeah, correct. So what happened then is I kind of helped her build a circle. She had a point to build her social, professional circle, so professional. Yeah, it's called circle. There's a word for that. Network, professional network, right? Professional network. So it start from there, then go where she go from there,
Because unfortunately, she's in I think I would say she's in a fortunate position because
correct.
At least get the degree. At least within the tech circle, tech industry, is that you're flexible to change around.
Correct. And in our case, because she's build up start, she had one node among the network, so she had a start, and that's an important thing. The only thing unfortunate is because we have one thought that's super popular by a super popular person, so all students are there, which I think is a bit pity because I would love to help them in their career. Then one of us actually talked about their scam experience. I will not say who until he is willing to.
We know it's a he now.
Yeah. So, but he willing to share his identity and his story in a more public area. So we'll talk about that later. Once he's ready,
it's actually good. Is that I would say,
yes.
Yeah, it's a safe place for people to share their story.
Correct, and it could happen to everyone. Even though I joke a lot on that day, it could happen to anyone. So let's start.
I mean, I
go on.
Even I cannot guarantee I'll be a scammer.
Correct. Well, I cannot guarantee I will get scammed, so if anything.
Yeah.
So even though I complained today, we had a slow news day, but we got quite a lot to cover, to be honest.
I think the one that people been geeking out this week is the Nobel Prize.
Yeah, correct.
I just read
Nobel
about the
Prize.
physics one and also the chemistry one. So
Oh yeah,
I haven't
Nobel Prize,
followed the rest.
correct. Nobel Prize is
Yeah.
very cool. I forget to add it.
Yeah.
So it's the Nobel Prize for medicine is actually it's physiology and medicine is by Pavel. Let me share you. I'm a fan. This year, I'm actually a bit of fanboy from the Nobel Prize.
Yeah, it's something that we took for granted bits, but the saying is that you get Nobel Prize after 20 years of your discovery, right? Something like that.
Correct. But in this case, for the medicine, okay, I'm going to close it because apparently the tab is eating up too much space. So for medicine, is Pavle blah 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 blah. He actually he's archaeologist that actually work on genetics.
What I haven't followed that.
So what he do is he actually he developed technique that enable us to synthesize genetics from ancient humans, right? In ancient humans. So he's the one that responsible to actually get the genome of the Neanderthals.
So he mapped the genome of
Yes, he built the technique that enabled it and he continued the work. As a result, Pablo, his name is Svante Pablo, and he developed technique that enables us to extract genome for ancient sample. Because it started with the mummy and he did not the technique at that time doesn't work. He developed so much he can extract genome for the Neanderthals and prove that we have humans have European have like up to 10% of Neanderthal genes in their life because our ancestors are fun loving, so to say.
I actually didn't really read much into that. Is that we got some of our bad stuff from Neanderthals, right?
Actually, we also get a lot of good stuff. So good stuff and bad stuff. But his technique also and his team also with his technique also found a group of humans called the Denisovan, which we do not actually have. Tristan is in, which we do not actually have a picture fossil other than
about Nobel Prize.
bones. The bones. So and it proved that Asians have genes from the Denisovans. So this is awesome because it make it possible that this happened, right?
Yeah.
So this is Nobel Prize for physics.
Physiology, medicine.
Yeah.
Physics is different.
Correct. So physics, this one is very proof because they are the one that actually prove the what we call the entanglement. So this is the group of scientists that actually prove that entanglement exists, and you can, as a result, you have a technique that people use in quantum computing. This is how quantum teleportation works, and this is actually how quantum communication works because they prove that entanglement exists and they can measure it. So Nobel Prize in Physics is awesome. Then finally for chemistry, they essentially develop a technique that essentially Lego for chemicals.
Yeah. You can tag stuff.
Correct. So you can use it to build medicine. You can use this to assemble chemistry, and more importantly,
even for living cells.
And yes, and Barry Sharpless got 2 Nobel Prize.
Yeah,
he got 2 Nobel Prize. He's the
I think the same team got. I think the same team got 2 Nobel Prize.
No, he's different because only he get 2 Nobel Prize. He got us. He works with a type of so traditionally catalyst actually works on a type of metal. So he discovered that there is actually a way there's a form of chemicals that can be used as catalyst, and this is actually very useful because you can actually use that to develop custom catalyst. So it's different type of work. So Barry Sharpless actually got 2 Nobel Prize, and he's the 5th person, and only a few the only few person that actually get it is actually Marie Curie, which have 2 Nobel Prize. There's only 5 person in the world. So yeah, so this Nobel Prize is very awesome and also very, I would say, understated among our circle, to be honest.
It's actually very good to follow up sometimes because some of the prize it's like if we are we are too not keen to follow up on some of these scientific researchers, at least the prize gave us an exposure to debunk some of our misconceptions previously.
Correct.
Mhm.
I'm waiting for the economics, but economics are not the real Nobel. It's actually a supplementary one that's given others. But last year's Nobel in economics is actually natural experiment, which is apparently a lot of people thought about economics idea is dogmatic. So what happened there is last year's economy by I don't remember the name.
It's gradually converged. I would say it's converged with human psychology these days.
Correct.
More.
They're essentially doing sociology. So what happened is they actually do two experiment. One is the effect of draft, the army draft in Vietnam War and the careers, and the other one is actually between two states with or without minimum wage, and what's the difference. So in the minimum wage one, he proves that setting up minimum wage does not actually impact wages and economic productivity of the area. So, and for that he get the Nobel Prize, and it's done like over 20-30 years ago. So, but this year I'm really looking forward to it. I do not know which one. Last year Nobel Prize for physics is, you know what? Let me open up. Might as well. Why not? There's literally no harm. Nobel Prize. I don't think they have one last year. Okay, there's one here. Explore 2021. Last year they actually given to modeling of global warming, modeling climate for physics. Then for chemistry last year is, the website sucks. Oh, actually I need to click explore. What? For organelle catalyst. Oh, this is the one. This is actually the design of organics for catalyst. That's the one I talk about. That's the 2001. My bad. Then this one is last year is actually for temperature receptor for temperature and touch. So this year and last year this year's is very awesome, to be honest. Entangled photons and violation of Bell principle.
I don't know why they stick with that kind of portrait this year.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's very cool. So yeah, I'm done with fanboying the Nobel Prize. But yeah, it's so cool. This year is so cool. Last year was also really
it's so cool. So many people are kicking out over it.
Yes. So I'm going to talk about the news this time, because we have to actually cover the news. First one is wrong window. I'm going to open multiple tabs, then we're going to do one by one. So Google Collaboratory now had a pay-as-you-go option, premium GPU access, which is good and bad thing. Good, they actually have a payment and all that, so it's something that they can use.
I'm not a fan.
I do not like notebook style development, but for a lot of the data scientists, they are primarily analysts.
It's fine for data scientists, but yeah, a lot of people, it also gives people, especially software engineer, the illusion that they can do things.
Correct. So this is actually off topic because of my recent project. One of the things that I've been doing is teach my data science person software and development, as in so move away from notebook style development, move away from messing around with code, organize things in modules, use configuration.
It's actually good to have the convenience to do it via notebook style.
Correct. So the thing is,
for scalability or collaborate, I would say collaboration is not.
Actually, to turn into a product, once you need to turn into a product, you cannot use a notebook anymore, and that is actually a big jump. Actually, that's a big jump, because you should then learn about how to integrate your application, whether web API or Q service or whatnot. Or
you can integrate using notebooks for
no,
like APIs?
it will be very painful. It will be very painful. It'll be very painful. It's possible because you can run things like Stable Diffusion on Google Colab. It get a bit weird lah, to be honest. with radio and all that, it get a bit weird lah. If you just use the model as is, yes, but yeah lah. So either way,
It's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. It's that I'm personally not for data
fact.
science line of work, or for
Yep.
for scientists that for them to be able to do scripting and stuff, modeling is fine without the setup. It is like serverless and stuff without having to play with the like understanding what C-libs are and those issues.
Correct. They do not show the price here, but it's something they can pay now lah. So you don't be limited by only one. So you just pay as you need. And of course, it'll be NVIDIA because that's what they use. So okay lah. So that's the one big news. Second news is Tesla finally showed their robot. Capability-wise, not as capable. What is impressive is the type of hardware they use. It's actually cheaper hardware compared to Asimo. So put it this way, the capability is very similar to Asimo, the robot.
I grew up seeing Asimo and it creeps me up.
Yeah. But what's the difference is the technology is more similar to, it's actually more similar to commodity hardware. Though Tesla, this also use their Tesla's own chip, like they design their own chip as well. So but it's actually closer to commodity hardware. So the thing is, the Honda Asimo is a one-time thing. So they did try, but it didn't work. So this one is they really try to put this into the industry. So yeah, I hope to see this work. I do not know how well this work, but the thing about Elon is sometime. Well, okay. Remember the dragon? So the dragon.
Yeah, I would say he's good at encouraging people to follow.
Correct. So, but delivery-wise, I don't know. For example, the Dragon spacecraft is work. It can go to orbit, but their promise that it's the same technology that can go to Mars or even to the moon. But you know, it's now just an orbital vehicle that they're going to retire very soon. So that's my thing about him lah. Now I also suspect this and his brain technology means that he's going to upload himself to a robot.
Maybe.
But that's just me. Yeah. So one day we'll actually see Elon bot with his consciousness.
It's like a ship of Theseus. It's like
yeah.
If you upload your consciousness before you die, there's just a copy of your consciousness.
Correct.
Like it's like similarly, if you watch Outer Carbon, it is like double stacking, right?
Correct. The ship of Theseus. So I actually had a kind of ship of Theseus. It's called the PC of Theseus. If you replace your component gradually for each of the component of your PC, is it the same PC?
No.
Like
if you replace all of your components, then now you have two PCs. What are you talking?
If you take one of your component out and assemble another one, and from time to time you take some parts out, which one is the original chip?
Yeah, which one is the original PC? Apparently, the solution for that is if you use Windows will not recognize it as a same PC because you replace the motherboard. Eventually,
but these days it's we can change it if you if you link your PC to your account.
Okay.
That's one of that's one of the way they lure you to link the account.
Okay. So the PC of Perseus or Theseus still works. Okay, fine. Okay, let's move on to something a bit more serious. This is actually not related, but it's very cool. It's a bit okay. So here's the thing, Independence X Aerospace is, let's say, interesting space company. They are very ambitious at wanting to do a lot. So they are actually one of the competitor for the Lunar X Prize. They actually get the support from Google, and apparently they have something wanting to launch. I do not know what happened. What happened since then? Then not too long ago, I see that the same company are doing trying to build a rocket engine, and the rocket they did firing tests. Firing test means that actually I had an engine to burn in a room and all that to ignite with fuel and that. So they actually had a burning test for the engine. So the thing is, he seems to have things halfway. I do not know what happened. Maybe he do not have the support. So the thing is, there's multiple facets, but let's talk about that first. But recently what happened is they actually designed a CubeSat. Actually, it's smaller than CubeSat. So this is actually a 35mm satellite, and it's recognized by other agencies. And this is actually one smaller satellite. What is not in the article is whether this satellite is in orbit.
I have a question on that because they seem to be very proud that it's a small satellite, but we've had
Yes.
Raspberry Pis flying around as a satellite. So what makes it a satellite? I mean, it doesn't have any boosters, doesn't have any fuel. Or payload.
Correct.
Like,
In
what
fact, a
makes it
satellite is
different?
really just satellite is really just something that orbit Earth, and that's about it really.
Yeah.
You want maybe something that transmit data, and that's about it. You
Yeah,
don't need a lot.
So what is about this smallest satellite on like 30
Because
centimeters or something?
because your CubeSat is okay. I'm going to show you a CubeSat specification. CubeSat. So a Cube satellite is is the common off-the-shelf satellite. So you have 10 centimeters. So this is the standard size. It's about the size of a small cube, and this is the common size that we use.
Yeah, I mean I
anybody-
would expect there to be a standard size because when you pack things, then you know how many you can
Correct.
fit in a volume.
So
But
this
that article was talking about making things smaller.
correct,
Like, what's
correct.
the benefit of making things smaller aside from the weight?
Weight so that you can put so in theory smaller satellite means you can launch more, so more bang for buck, because a satellite launch is 20 even with right share and all that. Okay, for a launch company it's awesome. It means that you can stuff more satellite in one point. For people that want to experiment using the platform, for example, they want to do telemetry, camera, and all that. I'm going to show you the type of sensor that is available, but one step at a time. So you can potentially use this. So when you use a CubeSat, you typically do what we call a throw-away mission. The mission will be gone after a few months. You use this to test your radio, you test your sensors, and all that. So and smaller means you can do more. It's like why a Raspberry Pi versus a PC. PC is smaller.
Yeah,
You can
No,
experiment.
I understand
same
that.
thing.
But so
Yeah.
here's the thing. Yeah, so the CubeSat is already a standard. You make things
Correct.
smaller. You have a Raspberry Pi, which is already smaller than a CubeSat.
Yeah.
What are they fighting for the smallest one? I mean, you can launch an ESP32. That's a lot smaller than anything.
No, actually, ESP32 is not certified because the radio, a CubeSat have rules for a certain type of radio that can be launched. So in theory, you can use an ESP, but you cannot use Wi-Fi, for example.
Well, of course.
So
you
there's
don't have
launch
anything
rules.
to connect to.
Correct. So there's also a CubeSat must be actually a lot smaller. It's 10 centimeter, but there's a lot of other things for you to actually put on the CubeSat. It's not just a case. Let me go to CubeSat shop actually. CubeSat shop have better. Yep, CubeSat shop.
So I thought the size, the small size is okay. You can launch them like on a rocket launcher.
No. This
Yeah,
is
I thought
actually
that,
something
like,
that
when they were talking about the size, I thought, oh, does this include like the rocket
launchers, right?
payloads and those things? Yeah.
no.
I
This
would be
is actually
impressed if they can miniaturize that. Like you can launch as many as you want.
no.
I remember
in fact,
Motorola used to want to do that.
correct. So either way, Gahana said they actually use STM32 Blue Pill, which is very interesting, but it's
Yeah, see,
fine because
it's that small. What are they looking for to make it smaller? Like electronically?
no, for
So,
these
yeah,
guys,
that's why I
no,
was confused with the article about the one that you
no.
just showed
Gahana
us.
said this is actually Gahana said this is the one they use STM32. So I'm trying to show you that
No, it's
the
okay.
browser died.
You can go to the next one if
Yeah,
you
so what happened, the reason why you have small so that can actually have more bang for buck with the correct sensor, with camera. I'm going to show you a camera, last one, before we go, and they only do it by, they only do it by data. So either way, it's possible. So with smaller satellite with the right sensor, you can experiment more things. A lot of things about communications nowadays. So you may have a satellite, a special radio to do like ship tracking and all that. So we need something this small. Chances you actually use this to you actually use this for one-time experiments lah. So I'm going to move on about the company. So the thing is, the company is a bit secretive. So, and I also understand a little because Malaysian companies, sometimes when you announce they want to do something so ambitious, so to say, you get shut down immediately by your own people, to be honest. So every time a Malaysian company try to do something advanced, it will be shut down by the Malaysian first, right? And you would definitely have people that say, why?
I don't know. I'm in a different bubble, I guess.
Yeah, but it's often that Malaysians are the worst enemy for Malaysians. So Malaysians outside another country in an established organization doing things, everybody will love them. But you have a Malaysian locally try to do something, it'll be shut down immediately, and you'll be laughed on immediately, which is why a lot of people just don't bother
I think
promoting
it's
the
also
technology.
a lot of things related to the cynicism of a lot of this initiative because of
Correct.
relationship and stuff. So
Correct.
yeah.
So as a result, a lot of the big idea projects are automatically not shown to be bad because they were expecting
assumed to
things to be,
assumed to be because of cronyism.
and also government support and all that. So as a result, you will not get local support at all until you deliver it. So I understand why sometimes the companies are very secretive.
These days, I would say is that don't care lah. If anyone try to do anything, just just wait for them to come up with it. No point.
So but you still had a lot of people that would make a lot of sound. So this one is another story. Open source software have been targeted by Korean, not Korean by the way, the best Korean, so to say. I'm going to jail, shit. So these guys actually compromise various organizations through hack open source software. I do not know how, it's not clear to me, but they essentially weaponize this software with codes to be run, and as a result, they got hacked. So it's a supply chain attack. What is not very clear is where do they download this? So yeah, this is the only thing I'm not very clear about, because if you download from the main repository, it should be fine, to be honest. So yeah, just be careful where you download your software and get it from official source.
Yeah, the thing is your DNS is also can be poisoned.
Correct. So there's
like
various...
How do you know, right? How do you know that the website that you're downloading from is the right one if you don't know how to look into the, like, where is it actually in the scheme of things?
Yes, which is actually true, because software is so complicated nowadays. Who knows, right? To be honest, who knows? I'm going to move on. So Cloudflare now provide domain ranking, so that they don't have to rely on Alexa. Alexa is a service before being used by Amazon. It's actually an analytics company that do links analysis, which is one thing which is good, because the company can be a bit dodgy, which is also bad because Cloudflare control a big chunk of the domain.
It control
infrastructure.
It control how you access as well. So it's a thing to be concerned about.
Correct. So this thing is, well, this is why people are concerned about big tech, and because Cloudflare is one of those infrastructure company that is not in consumer news as often. So there may do a lot of stuff that people may overlook, because consumer product is the one they look at first. So the only good thing is they are not the biggest DNS companies around. You still have.
They are not the biggest, but they are the one of the biggest WAF around because it's
correct.
free.
Correct. And they control a lot of the stuff.
If you're on their bad list, you're
Correct.
gonna be in a lot of trouble.
Correct.
Denied. The concern one of the concern I have is that the denial of access just because you
Correct.
were. I mean, I'm not worried about. I'm worried about either the misuse or the
legal compulsion.
Yeah.
So, okay, the companies currently try to do their best to not abuse their position.
Yeah. I'm still a fan, but it's that I'm a bit concerned when the company got too big and control things that they too much.
Correct. So yeah, precisely. So, but now you have an option lah. So you have that if you want to. So yeah. Yep. So I'm going to move on. Next one. Superbase actually had a Postgres version. I think it's a bit weird, but this is primarily for development. I do not see the point, to be honest. But when you use Postgres, you're not. Yeah. You're not going to use this for production.
These days, if you cannot relate, is that for me, I'll just maintain observer status.
Yeah. But why can't you, for example, mirror another Postgres DB, and then now you can do a Postgres client?
So you need to understand that modern day software development practices is very independent, which is a good thing and a bad thing.
So that's one use case of this running in the browser, because your browser is now your DM. So you have a replication setup running, and it's replicating, and then now you can query directly on.
You can have
basically the data is on the thing.
You can have offline. You can have an index DB or SQLite DB, but with support of Postgres syntax.
Yeah, but this is not for that. You can because
it's one of the use case. Offline data. Yeah, that's the thing. So if you and the thing about replication is because it is designed for like things like the network getting cut off in the middle, so you have a journal happening in replication.
Yeah, I would see it opens up some use case where like the compiler, we can use the compiler itself to like all these tools to suggest and optimize code and things like that.
Yeah, that might be interesting. So yeah the option is there, will be interesting. Also, it's small. It claimed to be small, 30 MB. So let's see. I have doubt. Call me traditional. Okay. So this is actually there's two big news. I do not know whether they cover the same thing. Zendesk just let go a lot of their employee. Apparently, the target is mostly Indonesia and Philippines. I know there's Malaysian working in Zendesk, but I do not know whether they are affected.
They just had like a forum, right? Or like a big event with lots of Facebook people, Facebook group members attending. Apparently, that was the pool. Like, someone from Zendesk is speaking. That's why a lot of people attended. And then I don't know what happened here.
Yeah. So it's one of those things because they are not the only company.
I would say the US rate hike can influence of a lot of this funding stuff as well.
Correct. And not to mention that, for example, did we talk about Custom last week?
Yeah.
So Custom also affected, but Custom had let go of people, but Custom also has some bad strategy in between, but let's not go there. Not our area. We know the business, but we're primarily tech. Somebody better already talk about that. And also there is SEA group. So they also the founder is also currently all the executive is on no pay for the rest of the month. So it's actually pretty bad, really. It's actually pretty bad. So just be careful about this. Save some money. Don't buy toys. Oops, that's me.
I actually bought a lot of toys. Is that before? Like I was worried that the Malaysian ringgit kind of go lower,
Yeah.
like compared to USD, is
Yes.
that it's right now. Is that so? I had a panic buying
Yeah.
of things I need.
Yes. So yeah lah. But I mean, things you need, yeah, fine. But I kind of buy things that I don't need.
I'm still worried that some of my Kickstarter delivery gonna be expensive by then.
Yep.
But you already
So-
paid for the Kickstarter, right?
Yeah, but often
you-
they only because after COVID the delivery got so
they're asking
shipping
for
things
more.
got so
Correct.
so crazy is that these days is that only when they're gonna ship, they're gonna charge the shipping fee.
Correct. So yeah lah. Just be careful. It will impact a lot of us because even my workplace, we're currently on a hiring freeze. It's bad. It's bad. So yeah.
Well,
So
we're still
next
hiring.
one. Yeah, I know some people still
People are still
hiring. So
No, they're hiring, but it's a different like field. See, what they're letting go are salespeople.
yeah.
The technical people they're still hiring, and
Correct,
the thing is
correct.
because it is though it's a very much of people are looking for these services, so there's not a lot of sales people needed because you don't need to reach out.
Because the demand is there, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So let's move on a bit. So quite a while ago, okay, India is very interesting as a country because even though there's ministries, but it's actually a federation in a way that each of the state is actually their own government, have their own ministry. So in this case, this is actually the Indian one, the country one, and the telecom ministry actually banned VLC and without any explanation. So yeah. So
Also,
now
it's sort of coincide with recently you have to they do these things about like you have to register your service or else you're gonna be banned
correct
in Indonesia.
Yeah, Indonesia have that. So I do not know whether they still can access. They already can access Steam. So yeah, Steam is happening. So it's an issue. So I do not know what happened in Indonesia, but in this case, because there's a group that actually willing to represent VLC, and they actually sue the government to see how it goes lah. Often a lot of these are actually due to legal reading of certain things. So for example, last time, things that always happen is in the US is the YouTube downloader that is banned by the music industry for stupid reason, but you get the idea.
Yeah, but
So
they forgot that it's also used for archiving.
But the thing is the media industry are not a fan of archiving.
Yeah.
So for example, recently the book publisher through a association that they control actually tried to stop a library project by the Internet Archive. But the author actually, the actual author group actually fought back against it because the publisher tried to use their name. So they do not believe in archiving or anything that looks like a libraries.
It's a bit sad.
So yeah, it's consumerism went wrong. But related to this country, it's also a bit sad because this country, the people do not believe in the public domain. So as a result, libraries is a bit sucky until you need it. Until some people need it, a majority do not think you need libraries. As a result, libraries are sucky. And people don't think this is necessary for the first place. Or more like they don't have an opinion. They don't have an opinion. As a result, the libraries and all that do not get the support they needed to do things.
Yeah,
right?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, so and the reason is really the same thing.
I remember growing up, library was a big deal.
Yeah, but the thing is, with media and other people, just like, why bother or have no opinion? Because there's no opinion, people think. Some people would think that there is no reason to have it because nobody have opinions for it.
Yeah, I think people forgot that library is also an archive.
Yeah, people do not know why you need an archive for the first place. So a lot of education needed lah. So in the US, there's still people fighting for the rights to have libraries and archiving.
Yeah.
Here we don't have lah. So let's move on a bit. Next one, This one is actually by DigiKey, the electronic distributor. They actually teach you guys. It's a 2-minute video, and this is to tell you how fiber optic works. So, and why you need multiple beam and all that. How does it work in translating information? It's a short video. You should watch it. It's actually very cool. Then I'm going to move quickly to the last few. This one is cool. The Malaysian government had an official open data program. It's not legislated, but it's a program where the civil service actually release data. Now the ministry actually had a mandate, which is a big deal. So it means that the ministry mandates that information can be released through the rule, and which means there's procedures now, right? So it's starting with the CITF data hub on GitHub. Then there is the Ministry of Health on GitHub on last year. Then KKM now is a new dashboard lah. So the thing is, the Ministry of Health already collect information. They have their own information program to actually. You need this for public health to actually catch infectious disease. This is the reason why. Okay, so for example, if you develop food poisoning and you go to the clinic if there's multiple case of this, the clinic have an obligation to report this, and to all this, they actually then they send it to the Central Information Hub, which they got sent to the relevant local authorities to close down the pasar malam where you buy the bad food. So there is an information sharing hub and infrastructure in place. What is new here is that those infrastructure are used internally. This is actually the dashboard that will be used, that is shown to public. So it's the same. It's likely to be the same thing they have.
Which is nice because it's gonna be it's gonna serve as a reference and precedence for other departments to follow.
Correct. So this one is done on. So there is even the front is on Next.js, which is okay. I don't like JS, but it's there. It's modern. More importantly, it's modern. So, and there's 460 commit. Damn. And you have the data. You have. So there's not a lot here yet, but it's a start. I hope it's a start. So that you can. There's more for it lah. So
it's good.
Correct. And this is why I pay my taxes. So
You don't have a choice though, because you have
No, I know.
It's already deducted from your salary.
And not to mention, yes, I know.
Your employer is in cahoots with the tax department.
I know.
To automatically deduct your salary, and sometimes they even overcharge you.
Correct. Yep. Which is why every year I got deduction back to my account, but let's not go there. So I do get my deduction back every year. So even though I pay my taxes, I get a lot of deduction back because do my form.
A lot.
Okay, not enough to buy.
I'd be enough, more impressed
enough to buy us lunch.
No, actually enough for me to put safely in my fixed deposit. To be honest,
I'd be more impressed with people who file their own taxes. Then that for someone who says this is where my taxes go, then yes, correct. That is because they actually pay and they consciously. I mean, they're obligated to, but they consciously cut off what they already have in their bank accounts and then to pay to the government. Correct. Whereas for us peons, we never even see that money in our bank account. That's already gone. These are just literally just numbers.
I would say it's kind of better because if it's gonna be in my bank account,
that's why I would be impressed with people who. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I would be impressed, and there will probably be more weight to the people who file their own taxes when they say, "I pay my taxes, and this is where it goes." Because there's gravitas there, because they actually will consciously remove it. But for us, we never see any of it.
Consciously allocate a chunk of cash,
exactly.
Not be tempted to use it.
Yes, and also this uses Django. Woo, nice. Sorry, Oh, sorry. I did not work in Python for a long time, to be honest. I kind of miss Python. So either way, your text at work. So not that you have a choice, but you know where it goes, lah. Next one. So Linux 5.9 stable actually on Intel actually breaking display. Good news is this new, and I believe that this new enough.
This
that
is
it
too
will
new.
Yeah. So this is the reason why your Linux distribution do not have something so new as a kernel. But it's there lah. It's back lah. So a release is out immediately, and the reason is because of the Intel driver. So the Intel GPU are the one causing a problem.
I in the Hackers News discussion, I saw people comment that the old Chromebook.
Yep.
If you configure outside, you blew up the machine as well. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how it is. Yeah.
Yes, but
fortunately, it's too new.
Correct. It's very new. So the only it's like the thing is a lot of people think that this open source software have this problem, but your Linux your distribution are the one that actually defend against
also,
it. They're the one that
also the barrier is tightening these days for performance purposes, ease of control. So we are going back to the era where we have similarly to in the interrupt days, like some of the direct access to the hardware.
Correct. On the other hand, Linux is cool. Open source is cool in a way that if you're willing to try, you have the option, and you often get some very cool experience and knowledge from it. So I'm going to move on. Anything to add before that? I'm going to move on. Let's move on. This is essentially how you do the metrics in Minecraft. So what this does is this is actually a system to write bots. So you use Minecraft as an environment. From there, you can build an artificial agent, so to say, to do things with it. So the reason why you want this is for you to build reinforcement learning. So they can have an artificial intelligence system to simulate certain behavior. So whether it will learn how to hunt themselves, since it's Minecraft, so maybe they learn how to do things. So this is actually
I guess,
a lot.
No?
Yeah, so a lot of this is language prompted tasks. So this is actually primarily used for benchmark. So you use this to benchmark artificial agent understanding of language and all that. So this is actually very cool for artificial intelligence use. And because Minecraft is an open enough environment and also a very common enough environment that you're familiar with to do things compared to, say, Stardew Valley. You can't even do this in Stardew Valley, to be honest. So this is actually very cool, actually. So here you are. So in Minecraft, we have 100 million active users. MineDojo, massive database of collected automated from the internet. AI agent can learn from treasure trove of knowledge from harvest actionable insight. So once you have the knowledge database, then you can actually do all sorts of things. For example, you can have a natural language agent that you can instruct them to do things, or having an automated one to do stuff. So it's actually very interesting in many ways. So what do you think? Crazy? Not crazy? Interesting?
Just a platform.
We don't know how to use it yet.
Yeah. Do you think we'll see more in Minecraft?
No, it feels like Bitcoin. It's like a solution looking for a problem.
No, actually, OpenAI actually use their own internal system. Their own internal system to test artificial agent, automated agent. So you think about things like how does drone fly, organize themselves with each other.
Yeah. But there's a lot of feedback as well for drone to be able to coordinates.
So is this artificial agent? So they have sensors to the environment. Then
I would say if they
against behavior.
I would say stimulant for AI is the same, regardless of virtual or not.
Correct.
Because they are still reacting to the stimulant.
Correct. Reinforcement learning is precisely about this, taking your sensors, so to say, fit into the network, do their thing again, then rinse and repeat to each other until they learn the behavior.
Yeah, but I would say it's just a platform. Is that
Yeah, it's a platform. It's a platform.
It's nice that you can see it while it happens.
Yeah, because most companies will have different thing. Self-driving car have their own thing as well, just so you know. So those are independent agent. I'm going to move on to the next thing. Calendly killed. I'm just going to quickly. So these three things. So Calendly is now this.
How many? Oh, come on! What is Calendly even like? I haven't even.
It's actually it's actually a way for you to set up schedule. Set up your schedule.
And they killed it before I started using it.
Yeah,
know about it.
No, a lot of people are using Calendly, which is why Google wants a piece of the pie.
Okay.
Correct. They bought the company and integrated to the product. I killed it.
Yeah.
And also the
the reason why you haven't heard of it is because this is used by a lot of manager types, the people who want people to schedule them and meet for coffee and all of these things. I don't think any of us have that free time to ask other people to schedule coffee with us. So but then it is a very popular thing.
Correct. So another thing that Google killed is Stadia. So there is a rush now for game company to actually really port the save to Steam, and some of the exclusive now are sold on Steam with a steep discount. Some even give code and all that. So code to claim.
Migrating the players as well.
Yeah, the whole thing is migrating the player, and more importantly, I do not know how far Google will do this, but they try. There is a push to get the Stadia controller to be more open so they can be reused. Because otherwise it will be just like another simple controller.
Because it's you're gonna have a dead weight.
Correct. Apparently, it still can use as a simple controller, but I do not know what happened. So I'm going to move on to the next one. Cygnus is an open source alternative to Datadog, so you can do you can view various metrics, API calls, and all that. This is actually very useful for me.
It's very useful.
Correct.
And it's something that I just explained to the intern this afternoon. It's
correct.
These days is very less about service uptime, health, but it's about service quality. Because service health is already something that is granted.
Correct. So I do not know what's the difference, but we probably do not have a lot of the same convenience. But it's a good enough monitoring for basic metrics for infrastructure and alert. And this
I can check it out. And it's I can see it's using open telemetry.
And that is actually have a lot of support for various things, and that's a good thing. So Cygnus, something I'm looking forward to, and open telemetry again.
Cygnus, like these nerds.
Yeah. So as a result, something I will look at in the future is support major languages. Cool.
Where is Node.js? Is there Node.js there?
I bet Node.js is gonna be there.
Is JavaScript must be supported.
JavaScript is the browser.
There's
Node.js. Oh, there's Node.js.
Node.js there.
All right.
They have to
Ruby
because major languages is there.
Elixir is there as well.
Yep, correct. So this one is another fuzzy search for front end, I believe. I think it can be used on back end as well, but it looks like a mostly front end thing. It's more for kilobyte. Yep. I have this recently, but this does not help me at all. So recently we have a situation where we have a lot of customer data. We got dumped to the front end, and the front end cannot handle it. So this doesn't help. So in the end of the day, we built a backend solution to do the search. So, well, arguably, the developers actually do the most naive way, which I respect, because sometimes the naive way works until the data size can't. So you won't know for sure.
Until
Sometimes,
the bottleneck is hit.
yeah, correct. So I know people will say that you need to prepare early on, but often, if the customer's data size is good enough,
I would
we
say
won't hit
it's
it. That's
also a
fine.
balance between premature optimization. If you
Correct.
over prepare and you over prepare, especially when you over prepare situation that not gonna happen, it's gonna waste you time and resources.
Correct. But also, it's a good balance. If you're lucky, you also need to prepare to handle it in a way that that there's backend handling. So yeah. So either way, this doesn't help in my case of backend data too much, but it's still interesting.
It's good.
So,
It's just it's there, and no harm doing a test that use it.
correct. And this is actually a SQL style query for your infrastructure and web services. I've put it here because it's interesting.
I remember a head and something like that. Right? I forgot.
Correct.
What's the name again?
But this one, you can query domain, you can query username, AWS, and all that. Interesting because it's SQL. Not so useful because SQL can be clunky. But then, if this is just like you want to do a data for infrastructure, it might be useful. So yeah. And that's about it for our
we
Buzz
have some
Corner.
comments. We have
Yes.
some comments on the thing. Yeah, so yeah, really, people who have a lot of time on their hands use Calendly.
Correct. I did not join Lunch Club for the first place, to be honest. So I never joined that.
Yeah.
Interestingly. Then Nicholas also talked about the guy. The guy is Elon. Elon have to buy. Actually, they don't have, more like he's settled to buy Twitter. So it's bad. Like, actually, it's a bad behavior, to be honest. That guy's an asshole. I'm just gonna say that. If I bet on internet, that's it. Right? So he invests in Musk's company.
I
actually
enjoyed his drama, but not really as a fanboy. I would like to see how people react to him.
Correct. Then the website is open. So there's actually the KKM project. So yeah, we don't have legislation that require them to require the government to open a website like that. This will make him look very good politically, and because there's a precedent, so the other service will follow. Just know that legally they don't have the obligation to. So just know that, right? So I think that's about it, really. What happened next week? I don't have plan for next week, to be honest.
Any special occasion next week?
Deepavali, 2 weeks before Deepavali.
No, Deepavali is 20 something like.
What's on our calendar? Did you check the calendar?
So our calendar is, we have
24th. It's not related to us.
Nothing on the calendar.
Not meaning
someone
that
might be
it's not related. It's that on Monday.
No, it's tech up.
Nothing. Yeah, tech up as usual, but nothing specifically. Because last Tuesday was one of the more packed meetups happening. I think there were like 20 people on the physically present, and then there were a lot more people on the stream as well. So that was a bigger event
and
than
Jimmy's book.
Usual.
Jimmy's book. Jimmy's book, right?
Jimmy presented remotely. And then one like Elixir persons presented on the physically, and then of course the two hosts. So I presented a quick one, and then Gui from Penang presented.
Where's Gui? Gui is in Germany right now, right?
No, the other one, the Penang person.
So many Gui.
The one in Germany is in Germany and was not able to make it because I think it's too early.
Okay. And yeah, we have another friend going to Dublin soon.
Well,
Yeah, a lot of
winter
people.
is coming. Let's see what
Yeah,
happens.
the thing is, believe it or not, I understand why. But Malaysia is not exactly attractive in many ways. It's understandable.
It's one of the friend who cut design our logo. She's gonna be in Dublin.
Yep.
The name means because it's supposed to be a private information.
Yeah, not this one either. No, I try to share tab, but can't find the tab. I want to do something. I want to show you something silly I did for. Here you are. Something very silly I did in DALL-E. Lab start.
I already knew what you did.
Yeah. It's silly, but it's fun. I actually use so many of those. It's safe for work.
These days I go cheapo and use stable diffusion.
So the thing is, for some reason, I can't draw. Also, stable diffusion does not work for me. I tell you many times, right? It does not work for me.
You spend the afternoon, right?
No, like just like 1 hour in 4 p.m. or so.
Okay.
Okay. Wearing a top hat. Generate.
Oh. And DALL-E, it's shit on Elon Musk. What he want is that it's still his company.
Yeah. You see, it doesn't work. It does not work. I don't understand why.
You should mention Elon
I already
Musk.
report it. So you see here, when I put here and put the.
But the bow tie works.
Yeah, bow tie works. But this one is, 2 of them are fake. One refused to even generate. One to even refuse to generate. So only this one looks real-ish.
I should give you an answer. Yeah, you know, just trivial is that you remember the pigeons that I took picture of?
Yeah.
Around my workplace, is that they are so overfed these days. They are so fat. I don't think they can fly. Yeah, they're wild
pigeons. What are they eating?
I every time I pass there, like once or twice a week, I see people dump a bunch of breadcrumbs to them.
Yeah,
but they're so fat.
Yeah. They're going to their genes are not gonna propagate because.
Let me try this.
They're being fed to non-existence.
Yep.
I'm gonna upload. Okay, last one lah. This for fun lah. I don't know whether it works. Crop. Edit image. Okay, I don't know whether it works.
What? Sunglasses.
Yeah. You know what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I'm actually you.
Yeah.
I never existed.
Yeah.
I'm just a chatbot.
Okay. Once this done, then we can call it done lah. So I actually generated velocity. Oh my goodness, this is actually very cool.
This is good. It's good. What's the reflection?
I can't tell. Cool. Sorry. This is so bad. This is so bad. This is so good. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay, and that's about it. So thanks for lioning me. So because I'm bored, and actually I just refilled my credit by paying them. Worth it, 100% worth it. So it's fun. So that's it. Thanks for listening. Next week, figure out what we're going to do lah. So goodbye, and we're gonna end our podcast.
Take care. Don't die.
Bye.
Yes.